on in London, good evening from me, and it'll be morning by the time this video goes up. So I'm doing my videos for November the 12th, 2008. And what are these videos all about? All about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. So we can have substances we can be addicted to, or behaviour we are addicted to. My substance, alcohol, for 35 years. My behaviour, I suppose, trying to be perfect. Bit of a workaholic, bit of a serial relationship starter. I'm never quite sure why I was in a relationship or where it was going, and maybe that is something to do with me and my outlook and my attitudes and my behaviour. So I'm learning gradually that it can be very good to be in a relationship. I've had one in sobriety, and it was bloody good, and unfortunately it didn't last too long. But how is that? Well, we learn how people are, and we gradually move along. And sometimes we can cherish and love people, and sometimes we can't be with them. So I feel that's where we got to, and what more can I say? It hurt, but now it doesn't hurt so much, and I'm coming to a place of acceptance. That is, accepting where I am today in my feelings, and accepting where my partner was and is probably in her outlook and her attitudes. And the gift is, we probably both cherished and loved each other, but for some reason, as it happens, humans cannot always move along in the same direction at the same time, and that's just very much like recovery. So we need to be gentle with each other always, and be respectful and cherish above all, always. So, daily reflections. I go to the Fellowship of AA, that's Alcoholics Anonymous, which helps me with my substance addiction, or rather staying in recovery and maintaining sobriety on a daily basis. And sobriety is just one day at a time, and many times we can forget this and run away with ourselves and think we've done it all, when in fact all we have to deal with is now, the spiritual connection to this world and what is going on, without denials and without filters. And what helps me is a lot of the readings that come in the literature, like Daily Reflections, which is an AA one page a day reflection, and it says for November 12th, morning thoughts. Ask him in your morning meditation what you can do each day for the man who is still sick. And the hymn in question is God, or good conscience, or whatever it is that you consider to be a higher power. And the basic gift is an exhortation to the good of good conscience, prayer and meditation. Prayer to share the good of what is going on, meditation to reflect on what I may do today. So it says here, for many years I pondered over God's will for me, believing that perhaps a great destiny had been ordained for my life. After all, having been born into a specific faith, hadn't I been told early that I was chosen? It finally occurred to me as I considered the above passage that God's will for me was simply that I practice the 12th step on a daily basis. And the 12th step is sharing the knowledge and information that I have learned over the years to keep sober one day at a time. I soon learned that the practice aids me in keeping my life in the context of the day at hand. So always about the now, always about the spiritual connection, which is to see life as best we can with less denials and less filters. And for me, that is just the golden part of it. And yesterday, or today still, was all about self-acceptance. And it said, when we know that God lovingly watches over us, we know that when we turn to Him, all will be well for us, here and hereafter. And then it goes on to say, I pray for the willingness to remember that I am a child of God, a divine soul in human form, and that my most basic and urgent life task is to accept, know and nurture myself. As I accept myself, I am accepting God's will. As I know and love myself, I am knowing and loving God. As I nurture myself, I am acting on God's guidance. I pray for the willingness to let go of my arrogant self-criticism and to praise God by humbly accepting and caring for myself. And you know what? Today I had appointments down at the local hospital about my diabetic control, and it was reasonably okay news. I was 2% out on my 3-month statistics when it came down to blood sugar management. And overall, I've got plenty to do, but it only needs to be done in the day. And I keep a diary, or I need to keep a diary to make sure I'm on track. So the gift is, really, I was beating myself up badly, thinking it was going to be all hell and damnation. And actually I encountered a very good clinical nurse who just spelled it out. This is where you are, and this is where you need to get to, and this is the journey to it. So they gave me a diary to fill in and make sure I do my blood sugar checking more regularly and more routinely, and all will be revealed on a daily basis. So thank goodness for that. And there was I, sweating over whether it's going to be good or bad or indifferent. So a bit of self-acceptance here, that I'm human, making progress, and by no means perfect. And the gift of all of this is being back in connection, back on track, and back in the system, and making sure I'm doing all that I may to keep well, one day at a time. More in my longer video.